introduce you with cell phone here.
It's a shame all that talent.
All right, I'm here at the African American Golfers Digest booth at the PGA Birthday Show in Orange County, at the Orange County Convention Center. I'm with Miss Oneda Castillo. She's Director of Golf at Director of Golf at Women in Golf Foundation, and National Evaluator at LPGA. And she's full of conversation for you guys. I'm gonna let her take over. She can tell you more about herself than I can, you know?
All right, will do. Thanks, John. Well, I do a lot, as John alluded to. I'm an LPGA professional. I am the Director of Golf for the Women in Golf Foundation. I've been doing that since 2008. Very, very busy organization. Basically, we work to empower women and youth through the game of golf. That's the overview. Our major event for the year is the Collegiate Classic. We host a national championship for the girls golf teams from the HBCUs. So it's a big tournament. We've been doing it for 22 straight years, and national event, like I said. So many young women have come through and played in our tournament there. My work with the LPGA, I've been a national evaluator for right at 11 years, and what that is, we have to certify LPGA teachers. In order to get their Class A certification, they have to go through a national school. They have to do playing ability tests and, written test, all of that. So I'm part of the team that works to educate those women. And 3 years ago, we opened a headquarters in Seoul, South Korea. So we now do the same thing for Asian women. In April, I'm going to go over to Seoul and teach the women over there, just like we do here, our education program, and test those women to get their Class A certification to teach golf. So very, very busy with both projects. I took on a new
National and international.
National and international, but nothing is more important to me than our grassroots community-based programs. The whole reason that I became an LPGA professional was for my love of the game. I knew that I wanted to do more than be a player. And as I was coming along, learning to play the game, I never started playing until I was 30 years old. What I found, and this goes back into the 80s, what I found was I was very disappointed very often when I would arrive at a venue and not get the treatment that I should have gotten, and that would be from the golf professionals, the golf shop. Nobody was really interested in an African American woman. So, you walk into a place, no one speaks to you, all that old stuff. And I wanted to be somebody that welcomed African Americans. I wanted to be able to teach children. I wanted to be a model for young women in golf to say, yeah, we can do more than just play the game, right? So becoming an LPGA professional, it took me a while to ponder that, whether that was the route I wanted to go. And when I made the decision, my only regret was I had not made that decision sooner.
I hear that.
Very proud to be an LPGA member. I like to tell the story about the Caucasian-only clause, which existed in the PGA up until the year 1961.
Sure, thanks to Charlie Sifford and Anthony Moss.
All the work and pain that those guys had to go through and the struggles that they went through simply to be able to play a game and make a living at something that they did well. With the LPGA, I was very proud. I met most of the 13 founders, and those 13 women back in 1950 were in a room putting together the charter for what is now our global organization, and they made the conscious decision in 1950 not to add that Caucasian-only clause. And so that makes me proud to be an LPGA member. And the fact that they have the faith and in me and to elevate me to being on the global education team. Obviously, I'm the first and only African American. Always happy to be a first, but I want to see the day happen when those first go away that people aren't saying they're the first anymore because there's so many.
The first 12.
Yes.
Or the first 20.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And we watched that in Tiger and golf. Unfortunately, Jackie Robinson came into baseball one night. He was the first. But after that, the floodgates opened up. You had Larry Doby and Hank Aaron and Willie Mays and whatever, And in football, you might have had Jim Brown and many more. In basketball, we had Bill Russell and this one and many, many more. But in golf, we had Charlie Sifford, and those came after Sifford, like Jim Thorpe, like Kevin Pete, like Lee Elder, and so on and so forth. And then all of a sudden, Tiger came, and the doors seemed like they were shut. And it's still a mystery to what happened to the influx of people following those icons and pioneers,
Right.
So like yourself, you are familiar. I know you know Renee Powell. You Renee.
Absolutely.
Has to be
I'm from
friends.
Ohio.
Sure. And so like you're saying, you like to see those days far well gone when there's just a first, always the first.
Right.
We here this 2017. We like to say, hey, I'm the first of 20.
That's right. And,
so I get the point.
To your point that when Tiger came along in 1997 and he won the Masters.
Yeah, 95.
He brought a glamour to the game that didn't exist before.
Sure.
And something called Tiger Mania happened. And you're absolutely right that since that time, what happened?
Harold Varner III. We got Harold Varner III right now.
Well, I think that we have, I want to say there are 4 African-American card-carrying Class A members on tour out there right now. Tiger Woods, Harold Varner, Sadina Parks, and...
So including the LPGA.
Right.
Cheyenne, you got Cheyenne.
Cheyenne Woods.
Yeah, but you have Ginger Howard now?
Ginger Howard is on our
the Symmetric tour? I thought she had Ginger Howard.
She's on the Symmetric tour. So you have.
And Mariah Stackhouse, and they're not.
Stackhouse has her conditional card.
Okay.
And so what we want to see, what happened to the numbers that we had back in 1997. And at that point, the number of card-carrying members was, I want to say it was 8. We had Larry Suggs on the LPGA tour. Renee had already retired. And then there were several guys out there, including Jim Dent, Lee Elder, Calvin Pete, Thorpe, all those guys.
Yeah.
And certainly we know that probably the majority of those guys started out as caddies. And that system is gone. So I think where the disconnect happened was with Tiger Mania, we went to more of the first tee type of programming as opposed to grassroots programming. And with those national-based organizations, they've done well in bringing in numbers. But I think that there's a bit of a disconnect when it comes to our community in particular and the education that we need because we are different. We are different. We're not country club kids. I've taught the country club kids where, hey, what did you do this summer? Oh, my dad took me to
country club wallets.
My dad took me to Pebble Beach, and I played Pebble Beach, or I went over to St. Andrews and played that. Our kids aren't doing that. So I think that we need somebody that pays close attention to our community and getting kids from our community to get those types of opportunities so that they're ready for the collegiate level in the Division I schools. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're just not there yet because the programming just doesn't really, I think, support that type of.
So it needs some tweaking. It
needs some tweaking to nurture youngsters at that level.
And there's so much
ready.
Scholarship money out there in golf and that stuff that's not being taken advantage of by a lot of kids of color and everything.
That's right.
I'm a former caddy myself from North Carolina, small town North Carolina, and I knew I came through the caddy route. My thing was, I learned to play the game of golf out of necessity being the mother of invention. I learned to play the game of golf because I was trying to make some money. I used to prime the back. I used to prime the back and pick cotton. And I chose to start caddying at the local private country club. So as a caddy, you automatically gravitate to learn the game.
Right.
So I learned the game of golf just through caddying, And like I say, now that caddy's sort of a thing in the rearview mirror now.
Yes.
It's been outlawed through the electric golf carts and whatever, but you don't have caddies no more.
That's
Even
right.
because I can remember on tour, growing up watching the great Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus, all have caddies of color. I remember Arnold Palmer had Iron Man, Jack Nicklaus had Angelo, who was Greek, but he was of color. And
those jobs are gone.
Lee Trevino had Mitch, Herman Mitchell, whatnot stuff,
But right, but you
and
don't see
you going on. I think Pete had golf ball, Ray Floyd had just so many of these guys that won a lot of majors had caddies of color.
That's
and
right.
Augusta National had nothing but cats of color for years.
That's
Before
right.
Augusta National had cats that want of color, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that when all that landscape disappeared, I think a lot of that it's the influx of people like following Jackie Robinson or Bill Russell or Jim Brown disappeared in golf for us, you know.
Right.
But like you say, I hope that things will change in the future.
I have a theory, though. I think that it's not as hard as we may think that it is. Just because of the last 20 years, since 1997, we haven't actually made any progress. But I was able to meet and work at a program up in Youngstown, Ohio. It's called the Northwood Golf Academy. And I volunteered to go up and help that lady with her program, and it was an eye-opening experience for me.
Okay.
Because what this lady did was she took properties, blighted properties in the inner city, cleaned them up, and she put in a small golf course there. She also put in a driving range. So she has AstroTurf tee with 4 different tee boxes, okay? And she's got a golf academy there teaching these inner city kids. One of the days when I was there, when I got to meet the kids, and this is a true story, John, I was there by myself because, mind you, there's not money for those types of programs. Why aren't they being helped and funded? I'm standing there to teach kids, and I'm by myself as a teacher, and there are 70 children in front of me. So, you know, my point is, it's not that we're not there.
Yeah.
It's, I think that we don't take it to the kids, which is what
the
she
kids
did.
are there, and we're
They
not.
are there.
Yeah.
They want it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And they're standing there and they're begging for it.
Yeah.
But
Teach me.
Teach me. I want to learn about this, right? So why don't we kind of flip the script a little bit is my thinking. Just a theory now. Flip the script and take it to them, right into the inner cities. Because I grew up in an inner city. And anything that I could walk out of my door and do or play, I did it. Baseball, basketball, football, it was all there. Tennis, right down the street, right? There was no golf. So this lady has golf right there. It's right there.
They see it in their face and they want to be a part of it.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it's just a natural, like a natural.
Right. If they could walk out and play it, why
Sure.
wouldn't they walk out and play it?
Sure, right.
So the point is, the problem is, she has very little support. Her community, I saw her books, she's getting small grants here and there from this person or that private corporation. She has no really national support except for USGA Girls Golf, and they have been good and supportive, but she needs money.
So it's always been a
to
matter of
hire staff.
economics has been
Exactly.
Yeah, it's usually been the problem there for a long time.
So now just imagine if we had academies like that in Detroit, in Philadelphia,
Inner cities,
in
sure.
Cleveland,
Sure.
right where the kids are, okay? And then we take them from there and we can get them, they get to learn the basic swing, rules, etiquette, all that, and then we take them from there and get them involved in junior league golf, you know.
I think that's where, not to cut you off, I think that's where the first tee programs kind of came in and sort of did a little substitute of that, you know, the first tee programs, which came into the inner city, supposedly a lot of inner city at first tee programs, but they just not geared to me, I don't think, for producing golfers,
Right.
from the inner city.
And they're an introductory program. They introduce youth to
more
golf.
like the Boy Scouts, to a certain degree.
And if a kid is lucky enough to have parents who have that kind of foresight, maybe the money or the wherewithal to get them to places on time and to work at getting them to practice and all this, if they're lucky enough to do that, then they can be successful. But those kids, in my mind, were going to be successful anyway. You know,
they're not the market you're trying to target,
Right. The market that I think we're missing, there's a big miss, is those 70 kids in that inner city that want it and have no access.
Looking to learn.
Zero.
Oneda, I have a little time left. Can you tell us about your achievement? You have the Special Achievement Award here. I want you to elaborate on that a little bit with the little minute we have left.
I don't know if you can see it there.
Sure. What's that, Lifetime Achievement Award? Ms. Oneda Castillo awarded 2015 by Mr. President Barack Obama.
Right.
So wow, that is some honor there, you know. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you.
I'm pretty proud of
And
this.
It's been well earned.
It's been 25 years of work,
Volunteering.
volunteer efforts.
So at least
in
you know
my
it hasn't gone in vain, you know. It hasn't gone unnoticed. It hasn't gone unnoticed. Somebody recognized
Well,
your labor.
The big important thing for me is the lives. You know, touching some lives here and there.
Making a
You
difference.
don't always get to see the fruit of that labor.
Sure.
But I do know that people are being affected. My own son is the program director for First Tee of Jacksonville. Just moved over from Dallas, program director over there. So, you know, it goes on, you know, and it spreads out into our community. So,
generation after generation. That's how we grow the game.
That's how we grow the game.
How we grow the game.
Yes, sir.
Well, it's been a pleasure with myself. You know, I'll let you enjoy the rest of this the merchandise show.
Thank you so
come back
much.
and see us again tomorrow or whatever, you know.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you for the interview.
Yes.